Hello and welcome to the first update video for 10.6 users to version 11. In this video we'll be looking at updates to the database, in particular the currency options that we've added, descriptions, and the control over order of datasets within a composite dataset. So firstly then, currency. You'll see here that we've actually added a system variable called currency, and this will apply to all triangle groups within existing databases, and by default the currency will be assigned XXX. However, if you originally had a currency variable within the database that you've opened, then Currency Wizard would have popped up with the option to convert from the currency variable into our system currency variable. Firstly then, let's have a look at the options we have. So if you go to options, you then have currency preferences. And this opens the dialog which gives you control over the currencies. Now you'll see that we have a list of currencies we can select from on the left here. Okay, and we have a list of selected currencies on the right. Now the selected currencies are what you use when you actually assign a currency value to a triangle group, and the list is deliberately kept shorter to make that process a lot easier. And you're also given the option of setting a default currency. To change the default, simply select the currency, right click, set default currency. Alright, and you can move between the lists by simply using the left arrow to move from the right to left, or this symbol here, right arrow, to go from one of the listing currencies here to add it into your shortlist. Okay. Alright. Now to assign a currency to an existing triangle group, simply right click, select change currency, and we've only got the single selection, so we can see we've got ABC is the triangle group I selected, no currency. On the drop down I could choose one of the existing currencies on my short list. So for instance I could change it to United States dollar and change the currency, and then it's been updated. Okay. In the new triangle group window, when you're creating a new triangle group, you've also got the option of which currency, and by default the default currency that you've selected in the currency preferences will be used as the initial value, but you can change it to any of the drop downs from your selection list. Alright. Okay. Within the triangle group, for each object that you can save, we've added this attribute called description. Okay, so this applies to the models here, here PTF. It also applies to the forecasts, combinations, which we don't have any, being composite, being a basic triangle, as well as parameters. It also applies to datasets on the right here, composite datasets, triangles, exposure, inflation, premiums. Now what's the purpose of this description? It basically means that you can, when saving an object, for instance, for PTF, if I just resave the model, I can add a little description, so let's call it good, and say this is the best model for ABC, for instance. You can also say who created it, other important attributes about the model and why it was selected. Okay, if you save that, and then it's got the description there visible. So that you can, this way you can track why datasets have been used or models have been used. Same with forecasts. And this allows you a lot more control over the information that you can have saved with a modeling object or data object, so that when you're looking back in a year or two, you can more easily find out what's actually been going on. So great little feature there. With the order of datasets in the composite dataset, so that's the last feature we'll discuss in this video. What we have done is allowed you to, when you're creating a composite dataset, let me just create a new one now, a new dataset, or new composite dataset in fact. When you add datasets to the composite, it will order them in the order that you added the dataset. All right. Previously, it was using the internal order of the system, and if you add a group of datasets, that's what it will do. But if you add a dataset one at a time, for instance, I can just keep popping them up here, then it's guaranteed to stay in the order that you add them to the composite. Okay. So that just makes it a little bit easier when you're managing multiple datasets and you want the order to appear in a particular fashion. All right, thank you for watching this update, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks.